Dear students, hi. You are listening and following the classes, I think. In our last class, we are discussed few salient features of Indian Constitution or Constitution of India or our Constitution. In our last class, I told you that salient means important. What are the important features of Indian Constitution? That we are continuing in our today's class also. For our remembrance purpose, in our last class, I discussed that the written lengthiest constitution. India, as soon as adopting the constitution, it becomes sovereign, secular, socialist, democratic and republic. And Indian constitution makers adopted the concept of rigidity and flexibility for the amendment purpose. And India is always looks in unitary spirit with federal features. And in our last class only we discussed directive principles of state policy and fundamental rights also. Fundamental rights shows the democratic nature of the government. There are 6 fundamental rights are there at present in our constitution. So after that, today's first feature is the fundamental duties. These are the primary duties of the citizens of India to make awareness, cautious about the public property. The government of India wanted to insert few fundamental duties in our constitution. For that purpose, government of India constituted a committee named as Swaran Singh Committee. Swaran Singh Committee. That committee has been recommended 8 fundamental duties. Primarily, every citizen has to perform towards to the government for the development of the country. Afterwards, again 3 fundamental duties are inserted, so that presently we are having 11 fundamental duties in our constitution, like respecting of national flag, respecting of national anthem and abjuring violence, like this, which are constructive to the government or country, those to be primarily followed by the citizens of the country. This is the regarding about the fundamental duties. While you writing the answer, you should take the way that first you should take the fundamental rights. They are from articles from 12 to 35 in third part of the Indian Constitution. Next, DPSP are Directive Principles of State Policy. They are from 36 to 51 under fourth part of the Constitution. Next, fundamental duties. They are under the Article 51A under 4th A part. This is the basic remembrance to the students who are going to attempt the answer. And the next one, our Indian Constitution adopted the independent judiciary. That means our judiciary is independent and integrated. From lower level court to up to Supreme Court, we follow the same laws, same constitution. Even though for administrative purpose it is split into different levels, it is an integrated judiciary. In its appointments, the tenure of judges, the staff appointment, salaries, everywhere there is no question of the interpretation of the legislature and executive organs, so that only this become independent. So our constitution adopted independent judiciary. It is not going to favor or fear for any organization in our country. It become one of the impartial organization. Not only that, this judiciary in our country at state level, that is at high court level, at Supreme Court level, provided with the power of the judicial review also. Judicial review also. Judicial review means reviewing the laws made by the legislature or acts given by the executive. If such acts, such legislative acts are opposite to the constitutional norms, the Supreme Court and High Court can say that they are not valid. Such type of aspect is nothing but calling as the judicial review. In our country, our Supreme Court, all High Courts are armed with the power of the judicial review. And the next another feature is the single citizenship. Our constitution awarded or conferred single citizenship to the citizens of India wherever they born within our country, because here the constitutional makers wanted to enrich the unity, integrity among the people of the country. If single citizenship is there, all will united, there will be a solidarity among the people, so that we can see in the concept of strengthen activity in our administrative system. This is the single citizenship. And the next one is the universal adult franchise. Generally, franchise means right to vote. This is the meaning of the franchise. Our constitution has been given the power to exercise their vote. Those are the adult citizens who are crossed the 18 years. Generally, they will be having a chance to exercise their vote during the various levels of elections. Here, no question of discrimination based on various facts like language, religion, caste, region. Like this, there is no discrimination. Whatever the language he may speaks, whatever the religion he may belongs, whatever the caste he may have, wherever the region he is going to live, that is the not question to exercise the franchise except age criteria. Those who have crossed the 18 years, that is adult citizens, without any discrimination can have a chance to exercise their votes during the election. That is nothing but calling as the universal adult franchise. And the next aspect is the bicameralism. Bi means two. Bi means two. Camerals are chambers. Two chambers at the national level legislature. That you know that at national level our legislature is the parliament. That means parliament is the bicameral, that is having the two houses, that is upper house and the lower house. Upper house and the lower house. Generally in our Indian parliament, upper house is the Rajya Sabha. Upper house is the Rajya Sabha. And lower house is the Lok Sabha. Rajya Sabha represents the states, whereas Lok Sabha is represented by the people to provide the popular sovereignty. The constitution makers have been taken this step. In this way, at national level, our union legislature, or may be called as parliament, is a bicameral, by two cameral chambers, that is upper house and lower house. And the next one, Panchayati Raj Act or Nagarapalika Acts. These are inserted in our constitution because to realize the dreams of our Mahatma Gandhi. Mahatma Gandhi always wanted to provide the Grama Swaraja. Not only that, to endow them with financial resources also. He has suggested many more things, repeated the same thing many more times before the then Indian government also. So to make the dreams of Gandhiji real, the government of India, by the Amendment Act of the 73rd and 74th, in our constitution inserted some Nagarapalika acts. Because of this, it is become inevitable to the governments to follow the rules and regulations according to the constitution. And the next one, SC/ST backward class provisions. Our constitution makers also clearly inserted and prepared few articles especially on SC/ST backward class provisions. It is given that the states and central government has to review the laws and acts of the backward classes and take the steps accordingly for serving the dignity and for safeguarding the protection of the rights of the backward class people. These are all generally we may set that salient features of our Indian Constitution. Few of these topics are in your second unit, where we are going to discuss them clearly and thoroughly. It is also one of the important question for your final examination also. Briefly explain the salient features of Indian Constitution. You have to attempt all these 14 types of features in the examination by giving the introduction to the Constitution. Okay, thank you. We will meet in our next class with another chapter or another topic. Thank you.